We are here today beyond the gates in Oliver's Osteria, and we have with us our head chef and owner, Eric DeMarchi. And I understand, is it Osteria or Osteria?
Osteria.
Osteria.
Yes.
Now, it's, correct me if I'm wrong, that means it's a small, nice place to eat and enjoy wine. That's in Italy, that would be it.
That's correct. You know, it depends on every different region in Italy. You know, they can call it osteria, it can be called trattoria or ristorante. You know, particularly where I'm from, in my region, in Emilia-Romagna, we call it osteria.
Now, who is Oliver?
Now, Oliver is my baby boy.
Oh, okay. How old?
He's almost 4 years old. And, you know, I actually named this restaurant after him. It's kind of hard to believe it, but it's a true story. Oliver, he literally born exactly the same day I opened this restaurant.
Wow.
Now, matter of fact, the restaurant, it was set up on a completely different name. The restaurant was supposed to call Osteria Mare Monti, meaning a sea and mountain.
Oliver's is easier.
Oliver's, definitely, it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, my wife, you know, she literally broke her water a couple of weeks before she was supposed to. And exactly the same day, Oliver born on the soft opening.
Okay,
So,
dear, we're going to name the restaurant Oliver's.
Oliver's,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Now, when did you discover that you had this talent to be a chef? I mean, that's got to be a calling. I mean, it's...
Well, you know, I came for a background when I was a child. My parents used to own 2 restaurants in Italy.
Okay.
So I literally raised in a
in the
restaurant
family.
business in the family. So literally, in my 7, 8 years old, I was spending summertime with my grandma, you know, play with the fresh pasta. And yeah, that's pretty much, you know, I kind of raised in the family business, and then, you know, I decided to proceed and with this career.
Now, from Italy, did you go to L.A. to learn your craft more?
That's correct. So I had a chance to work for this chef. It's kind of famous. His name is Gino Angelini. He owns Osteria Angelini in Los Angeles, which is actually from my same region. And Gino, back in the 80s, he was considered one of the best 4 top chefs in Europe. So I had a chance that they have a proposal to work with him for like 6 months to have an experience, and that's why the main reason I moved in Los Angeles to.
Okay, that's
to
what I
work with
figured.
them.
Just for seeing, in other words, a mentor to you. Just
That's correct.
To learn.
You know,
and-
just to have, you know, add on my portfolio, you know, experience to work as such a great chef, and you know, things work well, you know, and Gino proposed me to stay with him to work, and then eventually I became his executive chef after 2 years working under his.
Then what made you plan to open an osteria here in Laguna Beach? I mean, it's a great area.
You know, this is a very quite funny story. See, I was actually not planning to open a restaurant in Laguna. Me and my wife, we decided to move in Las Vegas. I had a really great offer to become an executive chef at the Wynn Hotel.
Which one?
At Wynn.
Okay.
So it used to be this restaurant, it's called Costa del Mar, very high-end restaurant. And they asked me, you know, if I want to become an executive chef over there, which I went through with a very long back and forth interviews with them. And I finally got the job. And by that time, you know, my wife, she was pregnant with Oliver, and she, I guess, suddenly changed her mind last minute, like 3-4 weeks before we were supposed to move in Vegas.
But was she from this area?
She's actually from LA. So we used to live in LA together. She born and raised in LA, and you know, I guess, you know, she she thought about it last minute. She said, you know, maybe, you know,
Let's go to Laguna Beach instead.
yeah, well, then, you know, once you decide that, you know, because my main goal whatsoever was to move in Nevada and Las Vegas, have a couple of years experience as an executive chef there, build up my name, and eventually open my own restaurant, because that's actually what it was my goal. So some of the plan kind of changed last minute. Then we decided to take a look at it, you know, and Orange County, we always look at it in the
Sure.
past, because, you know, we thought it's a very family-orientated kind of remind me of Italy a lot, and
Okay.
that's why we decided to explore a little bit better, and we found this restaurant.
I'd say have you always been in this location?
I always been in this.
Now, when
location.
did you open?
I opened August 14, 2018. As I mentioned, exactly the same day my son Oliver born.
And then you ran into COVID.
And then I ran under COVID. After a year, I opened.
Now, did you, during COVID, obviously you stayed open, did you offer
Yes,
takeout?
we did offer takeout. Actually the locals, they was very, very, very supporting. So they help us a lot. So we consider ourselves very lucky, to be honest.
Now, just getting into the menu a little bit, you design the menu yourself?
I do design the menu. I do change my menu every 4 months, 70 to 80%. Or our product are prime quality, or my pasta is homemade, fresh. Matter of fact, I have 2 people every morning come here at 5 o'clock in the morning till 4 on the afternoon to make fresh pasta.
Wow.
So obviously it requires a lot of labor, but that's
it's a labor of love for you. I mean,
yes, but that's the quality to me. It's extremely important, and you definitely feel the difference from a pasta you buy it and the pasta made it on the house.
Now, I mean, do you take input from just from the customers that come in and they taste the things on the menu? Do you sometimes listen to them saying, "Oh, this might be better"? I mean, you're the expert, but do you ever take input from the customers?
Yes, absolutely. Matter of fact, in beginning it was a little challenging open the restaurant in this location because they didn't have any knowledge about a really true traditional Italian restaurant.
Right.
They had a little more idea of Americanized restaurant, So in beginning, they was asking me for fettuccine Alfredo, which before I moved in this country, I never heard in my life. Or
really,
never. It doesn't really exist. Caesar salad, which actually Caesar salad is from Mexico.
Yeah.
Spaghetti meatballs or chicken parm. Those type of
that's all Americanized.
that's very extremely Americanized.
Okay.
So
I never knew that.
I did a culinary chef. We never hear, and many years of experience in my own country, and I did have lucky to work with a lot of different restaurants, because even though my parents used to own 2 restaurants, they give me a chance to work in a different region in Italy to learn more different type of cuisine. And yeah, this type of dishes that definitely not.
Is that why you change every 4 months?
Italian.
Is that why you change every 4 months? Is just a different because of the seasonal?
Well, it's for several reasons. First of all, obviously for the season, because I go, as I said, I use all prime quality product, and I like to use from our local farmers market, and that what is in season using it. And second of all, I always like change and give my customer a new experience and new dishes.
Something new.
Something, yes.
Now, what are the hours that you're open?
Now, currently we open 7 days a week. We do open a Saturday and Sunday for brunch from 11 o'clock till 2:30 p.m. And we do actually an Italian brunch, which is,
that sounds delicious.
Frittata, bomboloni, which is kind of an Italian donuts, carbonara, spaghetti with eggs, and guanciale. And then we reopen 4:30 p.m. till 10 p.m. And that Monday to Friday, we do open only dinner, 4:30 p.m. till 10 p.m.
Now, do you offer catering as well?
Absolutely. We do offer catering, and we also offering private events.
So, in other words, if somebody wanted to come in and do a private event here, they could do that?
Yes, they could.
Now, how would somebody from Laguna Woods Village, if somebody wanted to come down and take half the area, how would they do that? You have a website that they can go to?
We do have a website, has some description, but we always encourage to reach out. On the website is our general manager. So they usually we ask them kindly to email my general manager, and they can provide all the information.
And then you can get into more of the details and
Absolutely.
What have you with.
Now, on top of that, we're also working a lot with the private experience, meaning I go myself to the houses and making
Oh,
dinner.
you would go to the houses?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I work more that way than catering.
Okay.
I mean, than catering in the restaurant.
What do you feel are the most popular one or two popular dishes that people come in to actually enjoy?
Well, I don't want to be too much generic, but you know, since because I'm changing my menu pretty quite often, obviously we are really famous for our pasta. As I mentioned, it's all homemade pasta, so you know, we have our classic. Try to keep a traditional cuisine. So you know, obviously my homemade fettuccine bolognese, my homemade lasagna. So all the way of all the pasta. That's what you know people actually recognize me, and I strongly believe that
Okay.
doing.
Now, one of my favorite topics is wine. Osteria is a nice place to have a great meal and some wine.
Absolutely.
What is your wine collection like?
My wine collection is actually pretty big with a very high quality, and I do have we do have a sommelier on the floor. And you know our wine list is extended to the whole region of Italy, so from Tuscany, Piemonte, Marche, Emilia Romagna, my home region. So you know our wine it's definitely high compared with my quality food.
Excellent. Now, the people in the in Laguna Woods Village would hear this and then say, okay, could you come, because we get a lot of activities going on in the village, would you go cater one of those just up the hill?
Absolutely. That's, as I mentioned before, you know, we're working a lot with private events.
Now, you mentioned that you changed your menu. When's your new menu coming up? You going to change it soon?
It's actually, yes, it will be 1st of July, so next month it will be my summer menu. So we are very excited. A lot of dishes will be changed seasonally, and yeah, so it's very soon.
How often do you go back to Italy to research some of the new things?
I try to go every year, you know.
Oh, okay.
Now, in the last couple of years, obviously because of COVID and because I have kids, you know, I couldn't go.
Okay, Chef Eric, thank you again for your time
Thank you so
here.
much. Appreciate
and
it.
I know it's a big undertaking to operate a restaurant. And thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And now beyond the gates, let's go see what's happening with Susan.
Welcome back to Laguna Beach. This is our second month spending time exploring all the wonderful art and music opportunities that will be going on during July and August of this year. And with me today at Art Affair is Monique Straub, who is going to be filling us in on all the wonderful events that are going on during July and August at Art Affair. Monique, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. And maybe you can start by filling us in on the history of Art Affair. How long has this been going on?
Well, we have actually been Laguna Art Affair for 56 years.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay. So how is it different and how is it the same?
Well, Art Affair itself has remained pretty much the same for those 56 years. We focus mainly on fine art. We have also artists that have fine craft, but we are less craft-oriented than some of the other festivals.
All right.
And so we specialize in painters and photography. A lot of our artists demonstrate in their booths, so you'll see paintings come to life right before your eyes, and that's kind of a fun thing to do. The artists are in their booths, and they are interacting with the public every day. We're open 7 days a week.
All right.
And our hours are 10 to 7.
Okay.
On Sunday through Thursday, and Friday and Saturday, 10 to 8.
All right.
So we open, we're the first festival in the canyon to open in the morning. So
the first one to open in the morning.
Yeah.
At 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there are 3 festivals going on at the same time.
Right.
And it does get a little confusing. Maybe you could give us a quick summary of what is the difference between each one of them?
Well, basically, it has to do with logistics.
Oh.
The artists must live in Orange County in order to participate in the Festival of Arts. And for the Sawdust Festival, the artists must live in Laguna Beach.
All right.
Laguna Art Affair is the only of the 3 shows that's actually an international show. There are no residency requirements. And so we have many artists from out of state. We've had artists come over from France. So you'll find quite a variety of art and a very diverse group of artists here at Art Fair.
That is fascinating. I had no idea that was the case. And now I understand that some of the artists go from one year they will be here, and another they may be at Sawdust, and another year they may pop up at Festival of Arts. Is that right?
Well, that can happen. If they happen to live in Laguna Beach, then again, they are eligible for the Sawdust Festival.
Okay.
But generally, I would say probably 80% of our artists stay here with Art Fair.
Okay.
I believe that a lot of times they will do both shows. We have several artists that are here and at the Festival of Arts.
All right.
And so that makes it fun. You can see
it
a lot
really is.
at any of the three shows.
Cover all bases beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all right. Well, this is an exciting time to be here because they're in the middle of construction. The show is to open in 2 weeks, and it's a busy place.
It is.
So now, not only do you have art, all different kinds of art, but you will have music as well.
Yes.
All right.
We have music on Friday through Sunday.
Okay.
We have live music. We also have a dance floor area, so it gets pretty active, and
Now,
we have a great party atmosphere.
Oh, a dance floor area, and it's up in the front?
Yes.
A wooden dance floor, or?
No, it's actually just part of an open-air patio.
Okay, got it.
Out under the stars.
And do you have one group typically every evening for, do they take turns, or one group playing all evening, or
we
how does
have
that
generally, we have 2 groups per day.
All right.
And they rotate out. It's a very diverse offering. We've got everything from steel drum bands to solo guitar players, singers, and so it's a lot of fun. There's always something new.
Now, if someone wanted to know who's playing what night, how do they get this information?
Well, we have a very beautiful website that lists day to day with all our hours and all the information about Art Fair, and that's at www.artaffair.com.
All right. Perfect. Now, let's see. What about food? You have little restaurants here, or well, your main restaurant will not be open this year. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Ever since the COVID monster came upon us, we've had a problem, finding staffing for the restaurants, which a lot of the Laguna restaurants are experiencing. So we're right in the same boat with them.
Right.
We're very lucky this year. We will have a full bar up in the front by the dance area that will offer some snacks and beverages and things like that. And on our opening Saturday, which is July 2nd, Saturday.
July 2nd, okay.
On our opening Saturday, July 2nd, we will have a taco buffet. So that'll be a lot of fun, and that will be in our central gazebo. And one of our more lively bands, the Ohio Trio, will be here, which is, everyone loves them. So it'll be a fun time.
Now, I understand that you're going to be having something new this year called the Laguna Art Fair Marketplace. Is that true?
Yes, that is a wonderful online site with a link directly from our website. And we have various products with all of the artist's work printed right on the product. And it ships direct to your door. It's an online store. And we have items such as clothing. We have tote bags, coffee cups. There is actually a reproduction on canvas framed works from the artist.
All right. I have questions. How does this work? You said it's online. So
yes.
This is something I can do at home.
Yes.
I go to your website.
Yes.
I see all the things you have available to purchase. Love it. I'm going to be getting all my Christmas shopping done very early this year.
It's a lot of fun, and we also have special on Christmas ornaments that are just darling.
How fun. Yeah. All right. I love it. I do have another question about the history. During the early days of those, the early days of Laguna Beach artists, when it was an art colony, and the Pageant of the Masters was just starting, and it went on for several years, my understanding is, and then the other art festivals sprang up from that. How did that work?
I have been here with Laguna Art Fair for 5 years.
Okay.
Folklore tells me.
That's always good.
Folklore tells me that there was a group of artists that wanted to start another festival, and they did that. And at some point, it was very popular, and it became crafts and fine art.
Oh, I see.
And the crafters moved towards the Sawdust Festival, and the painters and sculptors and fine artists moved towards Laguna Art Affair. And so there's a sprinkling of both at each show.
Of course.
But I believe that's, in the very beginning, that is kind of what started all of the festivals.
All right. Well, it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you here and all of the beautiful art. And Monet, thank you so much for spending time to fill us in on everything.
Well, thanks so much for coming by.
So, Bill, what do you have going on over at Sawdust?
Hi, this is Bill. We are Beyond the Gates today, and we are one of my favorite places in the world, the Sawdust Festival. And Patsy Ober is joining us today from her booth, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
All right.
But first, I want to talk about the Sawdust Festival itself. How long has it been here?
The festival has been in operation since 56 years.
56 years, so it's your late 60s.
Right.
Now, do you know how it was initially developed? It was just a bunch of artists that got together and
Well, local artists, like Laguna Beach artists.
Mhm.
The Festival of the Arts was going on, but it was any artist that basically wanted to. You didn't have to be from the area. So this group of Sawdust artists said, hey, let's start our own show. We don't want to get involved over there. So they came here. I think they started in a parking lot somewhere in town.
Yeah.
And eventually it evolved to this property, which we own now. Sawdust owns this property.
Now, there are hundreds of booths within the Sawdust Festival itself. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is each year is the festival dedicated to artists, local artists, and developing new artists because you have all these classes?
Yes, well, part of our mission is to educate the public. So each booth in itself has a little educational part. So, and also we have a lot of classes that are free to the public. So that's part of fulfilling our mission. That's a big part of this Sawdust Festival.
Can anybody just come off the street? I mean, get in and take one of the classes?
Yeah, just pay admission and come in the door and you can take the classes that we offer. No problem.
Now, there's classes in ceramics, I guess painting. What is a class in new media or mixed media?
Well, we don't really have any. We don't do any computerized things. It's all outside, and we don't really have a facility for that. But some artists will bring their computer and teach like a photography class.
Okay.
And they get paid for that, and so that helps fund artists as well. But it's pretty much free to the public. The
Okay.
classes that we have.
Now, there are many artists here, as we talked about. How do you qualify to become a presenter here? I mean, obviously, you probably have to pay a fee, but isn't there like an audition process?
Well, you have to. Number one, you have to be a Laguna Beach resident.
Okay.
And you have to have lived here for, I believe it's 2 years. I think we dropped it to 2 years now, in a row, in order to even put in an application. And then we aren't a juried show. So we do have a committee that will bring in artists and look at their art to make sure that they fulfill we have a lot of, we have a rules and bylaws section that gives the rules on what qualifies your art. And you have to have made, I believe it's like 85% of what you're presenting.
Okay.
So you can't, order anything.
Offline or just bring it, put it in
all
your.
has to be made by you. Yeah.
Um,
Almost all.
Now I see in your booth is photography your specialty, because it's more than just going out and taking pictures.
Well, photography is my specialty. I have it printed on metal, but basically it's underwater photography, and I use a macro lens, and I have a different technique than portrait artists.
How did you develop that over the years? Practice?
Well, just by being at the beach all the time. I know what I wanted, so my blessing as an artist is I have an eye. I don't have technology, but I have an eye, so
That's a must.
that helps me a lot.
Yeah.
And I love the macro shots of like flowers and stuff. So I do macro underwater. And macro is like looking at an image through a magnifying glass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I present some of my sea anemones. But I also use it as an educational tool because we are in Laguna Beach, we're a marine protected area.
Right.
And so I'm able to, kids love it. They come in here and I talk about saving all the animals out here and, you know, being ecologically and ocean-wise as far as saving our oceans.
Now, I know we were talking before we were rolling the cameras about you swimming. Did you go
Right.
out and exercise and swim? Do you actually take your camera with you when you go swimming? Then?
Sometimes I do.
You
If I want to get a good workout in, I don't. You know, if I know I'm going to go outside the surf line, then I'm out there. And I have to take these pictures in certain areas, like in reefs.
Yeah.
So it just depends. Adventure swims I love, and that's why I take my camera.
Okay. So obviously you know the beach areas around Laguna
Right.
Beach and where you can get all these great
Right.
pictures. Now, when is the Sawdust? What are the hours of the Sawdust Festival?
On weekends, Friday and Saturday, it's open from 11 to 10. And then on Sunday through Thursday, it's open from 11 to 7.
And there's restaurants. There's music.
We have 3 stages going for music. We have about 4 or 5 restaurants here.
Is the summit the Sawdust Festival is open now till August 28th?
Right.
And then is there any other time of the year that's open?
Well, we do have a spring show now, and we have a winter show. So we have a Santa's Village down there, and we have snow. It's really fun. It's a great show.
Snow on Laguna Beach?
Right. We have
Has that
snow.
ever happened?
It happens here, the Sawdust Festival, every winter. We bring that here.
Patsy, thanks for your time here
Sure.
today. And this is fabulous stuff.
Thanks.
It's we look forward to bringing some of the people in the village and come visit you.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys.